Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Bill. We are going to start a new video series with this video. It's going to be exploring the fantasy gods. We're going to be in D&D, of course, at the beginning, and then we'll eventually jump into Pathfinder, and from there I'll cover the other weird settings of D&D like Faerun, Dark Sun, and so on. And I'll title the video exploring the fantasy gods, and then I'll put the addition, and then after that, the god that's in question. So we'll be in the player's handbook from 3rd edition to start this video. We'll also be in the deities and demigods from 3rd edition. So the first god we're going to look at is Moradin. And Moradin's first mentioned under the gods with the clerics, the cleric class. So you go and you look for Lawful Good. He's the second one on the list. He's the god of dwarves. His domains are Earth, Good, Law, Protection. His typical worshippers are dwarves. In 3rd edition D&D, they didn't give you the deity's favorite weapon, so you wouldn't start with that proficiency as a cleric. Now, later on, the gods also mentioned again. So, after feats, after skills, they talk about making your character in chapter 6, giving your character a description, height, weight, his choice of alignment, what the alignments are defined as in greater detail. And then deities by race, dwarf, Moradin, or by class and alignment. Where is he mentioned by class? He is not mentioned in the class listing at all, which is surprising considering he's the most powerful god in the base D&D setting. But over here, they start defining the gods with a paragraph. Gives you a feel of them when you were a player creating a character, which I'm surprised didn't carry over into Pathfinder for their gods. So, Moradin, the god of dwarves, Moradin, and then they give you the pronunciation in parentheses, is lawful good. His titles include the Soul Forger, Dwarf Father, the All-Father, and the Creator. Moradin forged his first dwarves out of metal and gems and breathed life into them. He governs the arts and science of the dwarves, smithing, metalworking, engineering, and war. The domains he is associated with are Earth, Good, Law, and Protection. His favorite weapon is the Warhammer. So this is where you learn what the god's favorite weapon is. And that's the last they mention him in the core player's handbook. So let's look Moradin up in the deities and demigods. So I'm in the deities and demigods from 3rd edition. And any of the details I'm going over that are 3rd edition are, to my memory, still in 3.5. So if you had 3.5, you could still look up the same stuff. So Moradin is on page 83. Now, they give stats for the gods in the deities and demigods, but those stats, in my opinion, should be ignored, especially if you're going to use the epic leveling of the epic handbook, because these gods were made for 20th level characters to quote-unquote fight. They weren't designed for the epic characters, so essentially they need pretty much double their levels to be applied to them if they were going to be used in an epic campaign. Excuse me. So Moradin, the Soul Forger, the Dwarf Father, the All-Father, the Creator. It shows a hammer in front of an anvil as his symbol, and for the symbol it says hammer and anvil. His home plane is Celestia. His alignment is lawful good. His portfolio is dwarfs, creation, smithing, engineering, and war. So anything that falls in his portfolio would be events he would know about beforehand and afterwards, like as if he lived those events. Worshippers are dwarves and metalworkers. Cleric alignments, not that important, but it's essentially any lawful or any good, but it's mostly lawful. Domains are earth, good, law, and protection, so a cleric can get access to those domains. Favored weapons of the Warhammer. The deity of dwarves, Moradin, usually appears as a stern-faced male dwarf with a powerful build. His upper body is particularly robust, with a barrel chest, wide shoulders, and arms corded with big muscles. He has flowing black hair and a beard to match, and he always wears full plate armor. He carries a shield and a warhammer. Moradin forged the first dwarves out of metal and gems, and breathed life into them. His dogma: Moradin is adamant defender of the dwarven people he created, and of the principles of law and good. He teaches the value of making goods that last, of loyalty to clan, leader, and people, and of meeting adversaries with stoicism and tenacity. He tolerates no taint of evil amongst the dwarves. It was he who drove the Darrow and the Dugar out of the dwarven community. It is Moradin's influence that leads the dwarves towards excellence in craftswork and staunch defense of what is theirs. And then clergy and temple. Clerics of Moradin are charged with maintaining and advancing the dwarven race in all walks of life. They perform a wide range of public ceremonies, marriages, blessing new ventures, crowning monarchs, and the like. They also educate the young, arrange communal defenses, and sponsor expeditions to settle new lands. They also keep detailed genealogies and historical archives. Every temple or shrine of Moradin includes an anvil and a forge that the clerics keep perpetually burning. The anvil can be a simple decoration or part of a work in smithy, but it often serves as the temple altar. So I'm skipping his stats. So there's no other greater details that we need to go over, but they do have artwork of Moradin. And there you go. There's a picture of Moradin as the artist has depicted him. And it is very interesting the amount of information that you get from all that. If we wanted to look at his class without his stats, and I would again double all his levels minimum for an epic campaign, he'd be a fighter of 20th level, an expert of 14th level, and a cleric of 15th level. An expert is essentially the NPC crafting class. So Moradin, the god of the dwarves. Did I miss any information that you all want me to cover? Does this feel like the god was more baked into the game from the player's handbook and then into the deities and demigods? If so, let me know in the comments below. Until we all game again, guys.